Good morning. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Sorry Is True podcast. We here. Everybody that's keeping in tune with this ASAP Rocky trial. Yeah, it got a little hectic yesterday in the courtroom. Day 4 is now in the books. I watched live, kept in tune with the whole proceeding. There was a lot of breaks. It's like every time the drama got too tense, they went to a break, a lunch break, a 15-minute recession, or whatever the case may be. But I fought it out, and I got a full recap breakdown for y'all. For anybody that hasn't seen any of the footage of what Relly's been looking like up there, testifying, I'll give y'all this quick clip and then I'll get into the full recap.
Yeah, I did. Okay. And when you said it, I said you, it was with love, right? That's what you said.
I don't get what you're saying. Sorry.
What did you hear yourself just say?
I don't get what you're saying.
Here's my question. Here it comes. What did you hear yourself just say?
But what are you getting at? I don't get what you're saying.
Don't worry about what I'm getting at.
But just explain it again.
I'm getting hard. Just listen. He's asking you, did you hear your testimony?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? He's just asking you.
Did I say it? Did I say, I don't know. Can you explain the question?
Did you see yourself?
I see myself.
Did you hear yourself?
I heard myself.
Was that truthful?
What's truthful?
What you just said.
That I love him or like we was cool? I don't know what you mean. I said a lot of things.
The part that you said, if I said you, it was sort of wishy-washy with love, That part.
Okay, that's true.
True?
Yeah.
By the way, before we start talking about the events surrounding November 6th, 2021, which we will talk about, Mr. Efron.
Can you pull up the rest of the text message?
Mr. Efron, here's what we're going to do. I'll ask the questions. You're going to answer them. Okay, if you can. In November 2021, you told people that you were a millionaire, correct?
What?
What?
I don't understand this. Yes, no, I don't know.
Which you got all three in there. Yes, no, I
I'm
don't.
talking about 21. I told somebody I do so much stuff. I don't know what's the constants of what you talking about.
Okay, you know a guy named Wally?
Wally?
Okay, so what? I'd probably say yes or no. I don't care. Like, what this about?
I said yes, no, I don't care. That's your answer?
What is me being the? I don't get it, but no. Yes, no, I don't know.
Pick one.
You said yes, no.
I don't know. It's been so long. I can tell people whatever I want. If I'm a millionaire, not a millionaire, like what? I'm not a millionaire, but what is that going to do in this case?
Efron, just answer.
There's a lot to do.
He asked you a yes or no.
Well, not a lot, but
I don't want to get so wrong. I don't know what is he.
Listen to the question.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is either going to be yes, no, or I don't know.
Like, why don't you show my Instagram? I'm already getting death threats. People threatening my daughter. Like, what's going on here?
Who gave you that, Mr. Efron?
The whole world.
The world threatened you? The whole world gave you
Because of what you're saying.
Because I asked you a question, I didn't
Because you're saying I'm extortionist and all of this, and putting my whole life on. No, this is getting really annoying.
No one is calling you an extortionist.
You're going to get, what does this have to
Mr.
do with
Efron,
the
you're going to
case?
get through a lot faster if you just answer the questions.
Well, did you hear your testimony?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And when you said it, if I said you.
all right. I just wanted to give y'all a clip of what some of this is looking like. Because as I give y'all the recap and I go through all the bullet points and the key elements of yesterday's session in court, just interpret the vibe of what you just saw based on all the details that I'm giving you. Relly was nervous. Being in court it's okay to be nervous, but this was bad. This was a good day for the defense. And that's why I'm glad, we took a step back during the last stream and we said, listen, it does look bad that he turned down this 180-day and 3-year probation plea deal, but the prosecution and Relly, they look like they had a good day up there, but why wouldn't they, right? Relly is going to play into the prosecution because they're hand in hand. They're on the same team to a degree, right? Now, of course, when Relly gets up there and it's the defense's turn, the same person that he's suing for a defamation suit gets to interrogate him and ask him questions on that stand. Did we think that was going to go, right? And, ASAP Rocky's lawyer, I think did a very, very good job of putting an extreme amount of pressure on Relly. Um, you know what? Let's get into some of the details, and then I want to talk about what that extreme amount of pressure did. Okay, so let's start here. Rocky's lawyer pointed out that the civil suit lawyers, from the separate civil case were in court. Why did that even come up? At one point, well, I think to kind of start out, Rocky's lawyer definitely weighed heavy on things related to the defamation case. He didn't say the defamation suit directly in so many questions, so to speak, but you could tell what his target was. And I think the way that Redley was getting bothered by that, the judge kind of stepped in a little bit, kind of to like intervene. But the way that Rocky's lawyer then spun and said, no, wait, this isn't relevant. Like, they're here. These are the people that's suing both of us. They want this $30 million out of us. Why isn't this relevant? Why is it totally separate? They're sitting there for a reason. Right. So I like that. And yesterday, I wasn't too big on Rocky's lawyer, but like I said, give it a chance. Let him get into mode. He hasn't been fully unleashed yet. He's got all types of evidence and whatnot he's coming to the table with, but that was smart. That was smart. All right. Another high level thing that I took away was people. I said it yesterday, and I got to take my own theories, right? I said when we put up the clip, the TMZ clip of Rocky's lawyer, saying so adamantly, like, no, we ain't taking no plea deal. Ain't no pleas come around here. Like, we're gonna have our day in court, and it's about to be a wrap for them. Like, I was just like, Then we found out he's being sued by Relly as well. And I was just like, wait a minute, that's huge. You have your own personal separate motivations to make Rocky or advise Rocky to take this to trial, to turn down 180 days, because that could then turn over and help you in your defamation suit, right? That was something that I think was big that came out of yesterday's trial. But here's another element to it where you have to look at both sides of the coin. I didn't continue on my own theory, which is that $30 million, if it's on the table and his lawyer is trying to get it off of the table by also winning this criminal case, right? Then the same has to be the case in the opposite direction. So you got to think of it like if you're Rocky or if you're Rihanna. Now Rihanna's a billionaire, but people don't just throw around $30 million as if it's nothing. Okay. Now, if you're Rocky and you're Rihanna, right, and you're sitting in your home together and you're going over, should we go to trial? Should we not go to trial? Because it's Rocky's decision at the end of the day. The lawyer could advise whatever he wants. It's his decision to say, let me just do my 180 and get this shit the fuck up out of here. The other element of the $30 million is there. So possibly Rihanna, maybe, I don't know. I'm just staying on the logical theory. Do we really know? Of course not. But the logical theory, if we stay on that, we say, what if they're really looking at it like that? Like, yeah, it's 180 days. I could do 180 days. I've been in prison before. I'm not losing much. I'm coming back home to this beautiful, lavish, luxury life and my beautiful wife and children. But if I go ahead and I plead out to this, does that go ahead and strengthen this civil suit that says $30 million? Because if I plead out, what am I pleading out to? I'm pleading out to guilt. I'm probably gonna have to sign some paperwork that's gonna say, like, yeah, when it comes to that assault with a semi-automatic pistol or firearm, yes, guilty in exchange for this plea. And then you take that right over to that $30 million civil suit, and those lawyers are sitting in the fucking court waiting to see. You think those lawyers ain't looking at it like ASAP Rocky? Yeah, but we know who his BM is, right? Rihanna. We sue for 30. Maybe they settle for a good 8. Career case for us. Not even if it's not a career case, career win for us. All right. So let's stay with that logic and let's keep an eye on that. Another high level one before I get into the actual bullet points. Did y'all watch any of this footage, man? Rocky's lawyer. I get it. You have to be colorful in your presentation. And being colorful in his presentation, he's reading the text messages word for word. And he just kept saying the word nigga while he's reading Relly and Rocky's text messages. And if you're like me, it bothered you a little bit. Like, it got to the point where it's just like, yo, how many times is guy gonna say nigga, nigga, nigga? And the judge eventually checked him. And the judge was like, look, do me a favor, man. Replace that with the N-word. Going forward, stop saying that shit. I was like, thank you, judge. And speaking of the judge, I like the judge. The judge is stern. The judge doesn't seem that he's been leaning one way or another. You see comments going around, oh, he's going to be jaded by Rihanna sitting there. The judge so far seems to be very stern. He seems to be very in himself. He doesn't seem to be losing himself. And it's a celebrity case or Rihanna attended or nothing like that. He's been stern. He's been stern when the lawyer started arguing. He's been stern when Relly and the lawyer starts arguing. He gets on Relly's ass when he needs to. When Relly starts doing a little bit too much bullshit or answering questions or even asking the attorney questions, because that's kind of like a rule of thumb. It's like, I'm here to ask you questions. You're not here to ask me questions. You're up there as a defendant. You answer the questions and that's it. And when Relly got into like these little modes where he's like, well, I don't know, you tell me, because if it was you, the judge shuts that down. Like, hold on. We're not here for that. Answer the question. You didn't understand the lawyer's question. Sometimes he steps in and does the lawyer's job. You didn't understand his question. Let me rephrase it for you. I'm like, even that seems a little untraditional. I'm like, isn't it supposed to be like maybe an objection that comes up and then the judge steps in and he asks the lawyer, go ahead, rephrase it in a different way, right? The judge at times is rephrasing the fucking lawyer's questions for Relly, but that's a bad look for Relly and the defense. I'm sorry, and the plaintiff side and the state side. Why? Because if the judge is sitting here like, yo, you didn't hear the clear question he asked you. Did you tell anybody if you're rich? That means even the judge is looking at it like, you want to play dumb? You want me to further dumb it down for you? So I don't think that's good. But all right, let's get into some of these actual key takeaways, like the bullets that I actually was writing down as I was watching this damn stream. All right. When Relly answers he don't remember, Rocky's lawyer didn't have counters many times. That was early on. I didn't like that. That was an early note that I took. There was a point where Relly got into his YSL Woody Act. And I didn't like that Rocky's lawyer didn't have a lot of counters or places to go. Like, there was some good questions that he was asking that was going to bode well for the defense. And then Relly just simply, I don't know, I don't recall. And he's like, a couple of them even spawned like breaks. Like, and then the stream cut. And it's just like, yeah, you didn't have anywhere to go with that. Like, you have to have your A, B, and C as a lawyer, to me, if you're fully prepared. And I was just like, yo, is Relly going to make this a tough day for him? I think he eventually shaped up. And part of him shaping up is because this is also what happens in the midst of an exchange. It's human nature. Maybe Relly sets out with this, I'm going to get on my YSL Woody shit, right? But as you continue to engage, as you continue to ask questions, as the emotions set in, as the nerves settle down, the natural element to be combative, the natural element to be more conversive, it came out of Relly. So I think even the questions that he probably would have wanted to say, I don't recall to, he got emotional. So now he's combating the lawyer. So the lawyer did his job early on, but I was just like, yo, like, get on your job, buddy. So Relly was, eventually defeated in that respect. I jotted down, now his memory don't work. It was just so crazy to watch how much answers and how fluid and how settled he was and how responsive he was with the prosecution. Once again, logical, it makes sense. That's the side of the boat that he's standing on, right? But then to get up here in front of the jury, in front of the court, in front of the judge, and then the most common sense questions you can't recall, and you look like your memory just evades you all of a sudden. It just looks bad for you as a defendant sitting up there. And so I didn't miss that. I didn't miss that at all. The defense started off also early on into trying to establish Relly's finances. This is where there was some funny shit going on. Now, why would you even try to establish, Relly's finances? Because there's angles of extortion here. Obviously, we just saw the clip of Relly calling that out. You're trying to paint me as an extortionist. Like, you got my Instagram up here. God forbid his Instagram. Like, that's what really made him flip his wig, his Instagram being exposed. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like establishing, like, where were you financially? Were you all the way up and you're just somebody that's doing well in life and you ended up in this unfortunate situation? Or do you have all these motivations for you to provoke Rocky, for you to go after Rocky? Some of these text messages that's about to come up of saying, oh, I'm about to be rich, nigga. Or this type, where were you financially in 2021? Yo, the lawyer literally asked him, Did you make any money from the record industry in 2021? Of course, eventually, oh, well, at first, Relly's up there like, well, what do you mean? Like, clear fucking question. Like, did you make any money from the record industry in 2021? Oh, he eventually has to answer, no, he didn't, because there wasn't going to be any proof that he can actually run with and say that he did. Then he asked him, did you make any money? Did you have a job in 2021? Did you make any money in 2021, even outside of the record industry? You know what Relly's response was, people? I don't recall. Yo, imagine this is your star witness and plaintiff on the stand. And we just got to 2025, and you're being asked by a lawyer, hey, man, did you make any money in 2021? And he says, I don't recall. If you can't get up there and say, I was a mechanic, I was a fucking, uh, I worked in a drive-through. Yes, I put out a song and made some residuals. I did some uploads on YouTube. Something to say that you earned yourself money in 2021. If you don't answer these type of questions, right? Then it continues to develop this character that they're building of you're an extortionist, you're an opportunist, you was fucked up. You can't even identify how you or if you made any money in 2021. And then it actually it got even further compounded. He asked them, did you make any money from prostitution in 2021? Now, for me, for y'all, that seems left field. Like, what prostitution? Like, he could have asked them anything. Why prostitution? He had something there. Why did he put that on the table? Is there more that's going to be expanded on for that? I don't know. But it's not good to put somebody on the stand that is pointing fingers about laws being broken and that they're also breaking laws themselves. That looks horrible. What do we say on a prior stream, people? That's one thing that lawyers will try to do very early and is also very important to do. Establish character early on. Hey, where'd you go to school? Hey, do you work? Hey, how'd you get into this? Hey, what did you do? Establishing character, establishing to the jury and to the judge, is this person credible? Do you really expect all the truth from this guy that's up here saying he didn't make any money in 2021? He's probably saying that because he can't show anything legally. He ain't going to show no pay stubs, can't show that he filed no taxes, can't show no trail, no paper trail that he was having any type of legitimate income. And then you throw it out there. Was you in prostitution? What? No. Not good, really, not good. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Yeah, the don't recall of how he made any money in 2021 was crazy. Okay. At this point, you can see during the trial, after that line of questioning, that really was highly frustrated, highly frustrated. And now Rocky's lawyer started to paint a picture and ask a line of questioning, kind of spinning off of that as if it was possibly related to ASAP success. And that's another piece that highly pissed Relly off. Every time he was asking him about Rocky's success, like, did you know he was successful? Did you know he was a millionaire? Did you want to make as much? All these type of questions. And you got to imagine, like, that's an easy one to go after, to invoke emotion and to piss this person off and make him look so bad up there on the stand, is because at this point in life, you hate Rocky and Rocky hates you. Legitimate hatred for each other. Hatred. And I'm sitting up here like, yo, Rocky, like, he's doing good, right? He's fucking Rihanna, right? He got 2 beautiful children, right? He's a multi-millionaire, right? Oh, by the way, he got an album coming out, right? He's doing numbers, right? And then you're sitting there and it's boiling your blood, like, fuck that nigga. Like, and it eventually comes out. It comes out in one form or another. People, if you watch the whole footage of day 4, Relly looks so bad from his posturing, from his body language. Like, if you're going to be on trial, right, remaining calm, remaining credible, remaining as honest as possible, remaining respectful, like, Relly's talking back to the lawyer in ways that are like rude. You know what I'm saying? Like, man to man, that is all justifiable. I get it. But in court, when you got all these eyes watching and the stenographer typing, does this bode well? Fuck no. He's sitting there, he's leaning over at times, and he's getting irate, he's getting upset, he's being combative to the lawyer. Like the law, this is part of the lawyer's job as well. It's not just to get the really to say certain things. Even his body language. Everybody's watching. The cameras are on. We're watching. I'm watching on the stream, states away. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens when day 4 is over? Everybody went from like, oh, Rocky, you made a mistake to fuck Relly. It's bullshit. Just like that, because how this man looks, how he's speaking, how he's carrying himself, how he's acting on stand. Okay. Um, yeah, I put down that at this point, by this part in the trial, he definitely was trying to get deep and deep and deep into his Woody shit. Let me ask y'all a quick question. If you're trying to go YSL Woody up there on the stand, do y'all think that's a good thing or a bad thing? And don't just think about how it played out with Young Thug, you know, in the plea deal that he ended up getting. Like, if you get up there, especially if you have a day where you're speaking with the prosecution and you're being very well aligned, you're being well spoken, you're being well behaved, you're being calm, and then you get up there and people ask you something as simple of how much money did you make in 2021? You say, I don't recall. I think that the I don't recall stuff, here's the biggest pro about it. Here's the biggest positive about the I don't recall, right? There's no way to prove if somebody remembers something or not. We just don't have that level of technology yet. Okay, people, this isn't the Matrix, all right? From a movie standpoint, like you can't prove if somebody forgot something. You can't. What you can prove, if you have evidence or facts, or if you can bring about contradictions, is the person said yes and it's really no, or the person said no and it's really yes. Those are things that can hurt you badly. So people want to play the middle because then you remove the liability of, oh, you lied, you know, oh, you just violated court, or now you can bring yourself up on charge. You're obstructing justice, all this type of stuff, simply because you say I don't remember instead. That's why a lot of people go that route. Okay. Now I think there's times to use that in these people situation, I guess, right? YSL Woody tried to use it a lot, obviously. But when you start getting into the simplistic stuff, right? I think you got to remember all these people in court, like some of them have jobs to do. You got the stenographer, you got the judge, you got the jury, you got the prosecution, the state teams, and people that's there to take notes. And I get it, but these are all eyes, and they're still human beings. It's no different than being around a child. Like you could look a child in his eyes and say, like, "Oh, you lying." You know, now imagine a grown ass man on the stand. Hey man, did you ever have any problems with Rocky? I don't recall. Everybody sees that. And everybody's just like, bullshit. People like integrity, people like honesty. Let's say Rocky pulled a real gun. Everybody believes it's a real gun. Let's stop. Nobody thinks that it was a prop gun, okay? But still, that jury and that judge is looking at you like, how do I believe even half of what you're saying when you got these type of responses? Did you get a haircut within the last month? I don't recall. All right. And then when the jury goes to the back to deliberate, it's not going to play in your favor in certain respects. But anyway, all right. Next up, the next area that Rocky's lawyer went into, he got into their group text about the deceased ASAP members' funeral cost, right? And what's wild is fast forward is much animosity as Relly allegedly had towards Rocky about those damn funeral costs. Turns out that Rocky actually did pay for some of them, if not all of them. Maybe he just didn't know. I don't know how that was communicated, but that fact came about. That thread of Relly and Rocky in there. Matter of fact, my bad. I don't think Rocky is in the thread. I think they're saying that it's a text message thread and Relly's in there and he's saying things like, I'm telling y'all right now, if Rocky don't pick up these fees, he's fooled. Right? In so many words to paraphrase. Like, I'm gonna fuck him up, or you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, so you establish things like that. And then he gets into text messages outside of that thread of just really talking reckless. They got text messages submitted as exhibits and evidence of really calling Rocky a pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this pussy nigga and all this, like just talking real reckless and wild. It's like, okay. By this point, Relly's looking really bad testifying, and the defense is making him look uncredible and shaky. We know that. And then before I get into this next point, anybody that just missed the last two, what that really means is you continue to establish, somebody's animosity, somebody's energy, somebody's possible ability to be physical towards you. Okay. Hold on to that. Hold on to that. This one didn't look good for Relly at all. The lawyer put his back to the wall on this and pretty much proved out that there was threatening text messages in Relly's phone, talking shit, talking sideways, threatening ASAP. And he deleted those text messages before he went and he turned in his cell phone to police as evidence. So remember, people, Relly's the one that went back to the scene an hour later with his girlfriend and allegedly picked up shell casings, and the next day walked them into the precinct and said, hey, here's some evidence from a shooting yesterday. Then he called lawyers for the civil suit. He he initiated all this stuff from the legal standpoint, right? And in the midst of that, he's turning over his cell phone for evidence. So if you turn over your cell phone for evidence, they have this thing called tampering with evidence, right? It's like for example, like I've had experience where in a lawsuit, like let's say promotions are a part of or can be a part of either side's how they substantiate somebody's activity or what they was doing or what their intentions was. If I go to my website and I start deleting flyers or deleting promotion and whatnot, that could be used against me. Like, it looks like you're trying to clean up something. Okay. Now, mind you, that's even worse when you're the plaintiff, when you're the person walking into court and saying, hey, man, this person just shot at me yesterday. But before I give you this piece of evidence, let me remove a bunch of stuff. But of course, those text messages still exist because, I mean, even if you're able to get some type of subpoena and go, get that stuff from the carrier, from the cell phone companies, which I think is way tougher, right? But guess who got them? The fucking defendant, Rocky. You know what I'm saying? So you deleted him and say, here's my phone, here's the evidence. And then Rocky's just like, you think I don't got to say it? Rocky would say, that's why I think one of the reasons why Rocky was texting after the case, shit like, what are you talking about? Why are you telling people I shot at you? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, Rocky knows that he just left that situation. He's clearly on the footage. Him and his lawyer are not trying to act like they wasn't there and shit didn't go down and an altercation didn't ensue. They're not trying to act like they didn't, but Rocky was texting like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. I don't know what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because Rocky knows like, whatever just happened. And these screenshots, I may need them later on. So he kept them all. And Relly got contradicted badly there. And he didn't have a good answer to it neither. Why did you delete these text messages when you turned in your phone as evidence? If I delete, I don't know. It's probably just a text message. Maybe I deleted it on accident. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems very, very peculiar. Like I got the text message over here with you and your homie talking about, a movie that just dropped. I got this text message over here talking about, hey man, did you see the latest movie that just came out? And oh, shorty over here, look at this picture, she bad and all that. And then when it comes to this thread with you and Rocky, I just got these pieces that's in the middle that's cut out. Seems pretty intentional, right? And once again, people are not born yesterday. You want to respond in the middle of court to the jury and the judge with these idiotic answers and make people feel like they stupid. And everybody's just going to look at you like, so, and we are, we are right now. All right, let's continue. He got caught in a contradiction about why he went to, or why he tried to link up with Rocky. That was big. So, the whole thing that he was trying to paint with the prosecution while he was on stand was, we're texting each other and in my mind, these are two brothers. We're going to link up. we're going to talk as brothers, and then when this argument is over, we're going to be even stronger of a bond. That was what they were painting. What they were going with, him and the prosecution. And then here comes these text messages that contradicts that and shows you to be a fucking liar. Y'all text messages is what most of us in this chat would expect to be sending to each other when you into it. Yo, drop your location. Where you at? Fuck it. I'm on what you on. It's gonna be what's gonna be. You got a problem? Let me know. I'm gonna fuck you. Like that type of shit. Right. So when you show that and you totally come off as a liar being contradicted as to like, oh no, this is my brother. Yeah, it looks like, yo, this whole time you're provoking Rocky. You're talking even if my client has some wrongs in it, you damn sure meeting them halfway, if not more. That's essential to show because you can't put the angel wings on and then all of a sudden it looks like nigga, you walking with the demons as well. Cut it out. Cut it out. So good job out of the defense attorney there. This was funny and it definitely pissed Relly off as well. You know, his lawyer got on this whole tangent about the size of Rocky and the size of Relly. Like, how much do you weigh? Like, how tall is Rocky? Like, yeah, I think that pissed. He's like, yo, you're a bigger guy than Rocky, right? He's like, obviously, like, but that would piss me off if I was a defendant too, because I was like, I know you're not going to try to paint me up here as being a bully because I'm bigger in stature. Like, come on, like Muggsy Bogues had his time in the NBA. I don't want to hear nothing about a man's height, but you're painting a picture, and that pissed really off. And it's still a tactic for the defense to use. Why not? Because it then moves in towards what evidence they do have and video footage they do have of the physical altercation, right? So you paint the picture of you being an aggressor and a more physically dominant person, and then you get into the footage and you start to create these mental justifications, right? So I see what the lawyer is doing. It's smart. Pissed really off too. Got back into the footage once again, and he was pausing at a lot of parts, trying to quantify who made the first move. Right here, your left hand moved. Rocky's hand didn't move yet. That's what the lawyer was doing. Right here, it looks like you're the one that's pushing him back. Like, he did that a lot. And I think one of the last points was going at how he found the shell casings. He's like, yeah, the flashlight. He was like, no. He was like, well, and then he cut him off. Whoa, wait, I used the flashlight on my cell phone. It's like, you know, there was like half a dozen cops there, more than a half dozen cops there. They didn't find nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then a break came and then, you know, the day was over. But this is key, people. This is what's happening from day 4. All of these elements, the lawyer is using to paint Relly as being a money grabber, obvious, jealous, wanting to be a bigger person in the industry and be more successful. That's why he asked him things like, yo, did you ever say that you was a millionaire before? We saw that clip that we played when we started the stream. That he threatened Rocky multiple times in the past, leading before this incident, like things like over the funeral cost, and then even before when they was trying to link up, that he was threatening Rocky, right? Also that he was provoking Rocky, things like dropping a location. You know, they asked him like, why did you give Rocky the wrong address, like the wrong hotel? Why'd you say it was the W when it wasn't? You know, you're just trying to look richer because the W costs more. Like what's going on here? But anyway, the provoking nature of Relly, the whole thing about, you know, whose hand moved first in the footage is about who initiated physicality. Okay, and that all leads towards when we talk about the incident within itself, self-defense. So I think Relly provoking Rocky, Relly threatening Rocky, Relly possibly physically making the first move, I think that's all going to paint towards self-defense, right? Because once again, Rocky's side is not trying to act like an incident didn't happen. It's clear as day for all of us. And we didn't even get to 2 big factors that we see that are on the way as well, that all line up with those pieces, which is when they get into the footage and they start to ask the questions about why Rocky and a couple of his members walked away. They bended 2 separate corners and you followed them. I think they're also going to try to paint that into you followed him because you knew that was a prop gun and he couldn't shoot you, right? And you're the bigger guy. That's why they did all those questions, right? You're the bigger guy in stature. You're a better fighter than Rocky. I wouldn't be surprised if his lawyer does that. You the real one. You the gangster of the whole scenario. You the toughest one. You tougher than Rocky. You bigger than him. You stronger than him. Hey, I see why you continue to follow a guy with a gun, a real gun. I see why. You know what I'm saying? So that's one that I think that is on the way. And I think another one that is possibly on the way is the other ASAP members taking the stand on Rocky's behalf and saying that indeed it was a prop gun. So once again, people, we're not jumping out the window. We're not moving too fast. After the prosecution and Relly was on the stand, didn't feel like it was in Rocky's favor, but that's the job of the defense. Turn the tide. And they did an amazing job of turning the tide yesterday. Relly looked horrible. Relly was caught lying on the stand. He was contradicted multiple times, his body language, his frustration. And I think the defense also gets to walk away from day 4 saying things like, we now know the type of person that Relly is. Okay. You know that you can start out your line of questioning in such a way that sooner or later you're going to provoke him, you're going to piss him off, you're going to get him to be combative, you're going to get him to be emotional, right? For example, all you gotta do is put his Instagram up on the screen. He's gonna flip his wig. What the fuck? You got my Instagram up? It's like, you know what I'm saying? So the defense gets to go home and study that and look at that the same way we are. The defense lawyer gets to do that now. Like, I see what floats his boat. Bet I got you. Wait until we get into this. Wait until I talk about this. I see this is what tweaks a nerve. Really, even if he is in the right behind this whole incident, even if Rocky had a real gun and really shot at him, which is all assault, right? Really looks bad, very uncredible, contradicted and lied too much. And the picture that's being painted of him is not going to have anybody root for him. And when the court of public opinion looks at you a certain way, you have to factor in the possibility that the jurors that are sitting in that courtroom are being impacted the same. They're humans just like us. Actually, they're seeing it up close and personal. We over here watching the stream with some shitty audio. All right. So that's day 4, people. I hope I was able to get in the weeds with that and give y'all as granular as a recap as possible. But we shall continue. We're gonna keep our eyes on this. Let's see what bombshells are to come. In the meantime, y'all enjoy y'all Friday, y'all. I'll be back in a few.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Red